just feel nice and simple. That club still being away from us, moving up, that will keep that right arm in a good structure. We've got this here, so we don't have any excessive movement back. So at the moment, all we need to do, take away, swing up, make sure we're not hitting that with our head. And all we want to do then, to keep it flowing nicely post-impact, is stop. So you're good, because drill is just going to look like this. Wide takeaway. There we go. Left arm lovely and straight. Even you just getting there to that position. What does your left arm have to do for you to strike a good shot? Doing that has to stay straighter. That's why we're encouraging you to stay in a good environment with this. So we're just making sure, stopping the takeaway, nice and wide. You have to see our left arm straight. Swing up, nice and wide still. Good thing about being wide in the takeaway, it does help so many people be wide at the top as well. Make sure we're not backing up. Keep that lead arm straight. Now, because we're nice and wide in that takeaway, and the going in, club's going out, that will fix a lot of players out to win motion. This as well, with this stick being just outside our head, at kind of like a 45-degree angle. If some players are too over the top, they can easily hit the stick as well. It's going to keep the club nicely on path. So we're going to cover everything from really just two main keys in a swing. Takeaway, get it wide, sharp parallel post impact, keep it wide, don't hit that with your head. You can keep it as simple as that if you want to, and you're going to be in a much better spot. Here we go, another one. Keep it wide, don't hit that with your head. You can keep it as simple as that if you want. Very kind of like normally, like at the end, we know he has his finish and then he stops there. Cool, right? So that's where we can take that away. Again, you're only going to get this if you do a lot of the drill. If you really chronically suffer with that lead arm breaking down and bending, unlikely I'm going to tell you just a simple feel that's going to get it in there. I know a lot of you are wanting that, but that's just generally not how the golf swing works. If you've been doing a pattern for a long time, you're very much in the subconscious kind of habit-driven movement. You need to break that down and work on something that is the opposite, like we're doing here. So after you take that away, you could then just do swings, where you're making sure you're feeling nice and wide, and just like we had in the last point, stopping there post-impact, straight left arm. And then you can bring it all the way through to a full swing. After you've got that, have a look on camera all the time as you're doing this. I generally want you to film every swing. That's why you don't have to hit a ton of balls when you practice. Just need to hit a handful, and then do some normal free-flowing swings, nice and smooth to replicate, nice and wide. There we go, that was lovely striking. So, that's how you keep your left arm dead straight. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button for more golf instruction. Just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.
So just like you, I need to improve the consistency of both my irons and my driver. So I went out and saw who I believe is the world's #1 golf coach, Pete Cowan, coached to many, many major champions. Now, he gave me something that you're going to absolutely love. He showed me exactly how to use the right arm in the golf swing for consistency of ball striking for both irons and driver. You're going to love it. It's going to help you too, because it works for any golfer. Come and join me right now. So I'd love to learn how to improve that level of consistency with flight control and just ball striking just generally.
I don't think you've got enough money to pay me.
I know. The Rolex is coming, I promise.
Right, go on then. Let's have a few shots and see what we've got, what raw material we've got to work with.
Right, okay. Can I have my excuses? This is like the first shot of the day.
No, yes, fine. So I always ask players what they're working on, particularly with their coaches. And, you know, obviously you work on your game yourself. What do you work on when you're actually going out onto the range? And so there's one key move in the golf swing that the professional golfer does exceptionally well, but most everyday golfers unfortunately struggle with. In today's video, I'm going to share what that key move is and how you can apply that into your own game. So, well, let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Danny Malcolm, and in today's video I'm going to share what I believe to be the #1 move or the key move in the golf swing and how you can apply that to your game to hit better, more consistent shots. So what is that key move? Well, firstly, you would argue that impact is obviously extremely important, because ultimately what you do at impact is going to influence what the ball does and what your shot result is. However, there's a lot of moving parts that influence what your impact conditions are going to be. And if you want to make that a more desirable impact more consistently, then we need some better, more consistent things happening elsewhere throughout the swing. You may also think that perhaps the backswing's the key move. Well, I don't believe it's the key move, but obviously it's super important because how you set the club in the backswing is going to determine how easy or difficult it is for you to get the club into a good delivery and then into impact and into the follow through. So yes, impact's extremely important. Yes, the backswing's definitely very important. However, I believe that transition is the key move in the golf swing that professional golfers do exceptionally well. But like I said, a lot of everyday golfers actually every day struggle with. So transition, well, what is transition? Transition is the transition between the backswing and the downswing, and obviously then through into impact. So it's that moment between, or that flowing moment between the backswing and the downswing. So it's not a get to the top of the backswing, stop, and then start the downswing. There's a flow, there's a moment there, what we call transition. So what the professional golfers do exceptionally well is they'll start that in a very smooth manner. What I mean by that is by the time they've actually completed, before they've even completed the backswing, they've actually already started the downswing. So what I mean by that is you'll see that when professional golfers' hands get to about hip height, they'll actually already have started to shift back towards the target and create a little bit of pressure on that lead side, get themselves set, then to let everything else come back into impact. What the everyday golfers often do is they'll get to the top of the swing, and from there they'll move the lower body and the upper body together, or just their upper body, or they'll move this way. So that transition really compromises how well they can get back into a good impact position. So what we'd like to see when you get to the top of the swing is in transition, you'd like that club to just, the shaft to just shallow, slightly underneath that plane in the backswing, and that's what you'll see.
You gotta love it, fellas.
Just slightly dropping underneath,
uphill,
coming into a good delivery, and then through into impact. Whereas the everyday golfer from the top, if they spin with their upper body, the club will tend to get pitched out very steep, and then from there they'll either cut across it and get a very steep angle of attack, or they'll course correct. But again, that causes inconsistent strikes. So what I'd like you to do is, a good analogy is a water skier and a speedboat. If you think on a lake, the water skiers and the speedboat are flying around on a lake, and the speedboat turns left, that water skier is going to get flung out just by natural forces. So take that into the golf swing. If you are a player that, let's say this is a speedboat, your body spins too hard too soon from the top, that water skier or the club is going to get flung out in front of you, and then you've got to react from there. So a feeling that you can take into transition is just that, just a sensation of when you get to the top, the speedboat, your body just does that nice little bump across. It's not going too aggressive, just a nice softening, nice little bump, pressure into the left side. This is staying a bit quieter up here, and you see that club will just fall slightly underneath the initial plane. You won't pull on it, because as soon as you pull on anything, if I pull, that's actually going to steepen the club. So you just want a nice little bump across with your lower half, putting that pressure into your lead side, and then from there, as soon as you push off the ground and start to rotate, that club is naturally going to fling back out just by natural forces onto a good plane and get a beautiful delivery into impact. So that's the first feeling that I want you to take into this. Another thing, just look at your own swing. Do you have a short backswing, or do you have a long backswing? Because that can also influence the time that you have to actually get yourself organized in transition. The benefits of a longer swing, you might hear sometimes people saying, oh, shorten your swing, shorten your swing. Sometimes that's good for a certain player, but oftentimes the benefits of a longer swing, of a longer arc, not only more potential for power, because you've got a longer arc, but also more time. If you think about it, if I'm making a longer swing, and let's say my backswing's not exactly where I want it to be, But if it's slightly longer, you've got a bit more time to organise yourself in transition. Yes, the golf swing's over extremely quick, almost in the blink of an eye, but if you think there is that little bit of a pause or a little bit of moment where you can make a conscious choice or decision to move the club or your body in a certain way. It's not a lot of time, but it's enough just to move slightly differently with a conscious thought. Of course, once you get to here and you're coming into impact, you've got no time to do anything. It is where it is, and you can't stop there. Tiger might be able to, but you can't. So that's the benefit of a longer swing. If you have a shorter swing, it just means you've got to make sure that you've got the backswing in a good position, because if you've got a shorter swing, think John Rahm, think Tony Finau, you don't have much time then to react to or make a decision where to change the path of the club or your body in the downswing. So you've got to make sure you've got a good backswing to then get that nice transition and bang straight through into impact. So there's just something to consider. Do you have a long backswing? Do you have a short backswing? Think of the water skier analogy. And now just a final little drill just to help you with that transition and to help you get that lower body started first is what I call a step drill. So what you can do there, you may have seen this one, take your normal setup, get your lead foot, bring it into your trail foot, and from there you're just going to hover that club out in front. And as you come back, once your hands get just to hip height, and once they get to hip height, you're going to step forward with your lead foot as the backswing continues, and then swing through. And this is just getting you to start that lower half before the backswing even finishes. So you can see that flow I spoke about earlier on, where the backswing's still going as I'm stepping forward. And it also creates this separation between the upper and lower body, create a bit more power. And that step into the ground, you're starting to push off the ground as well, create more power from the ground, and then through into impact. So it's a wonderful drill, just help with your sequencing of your golf swing, and ensure that transition is nice and smooth and you're starting it in the correct way. So I'll just demonstrate that one for you. So you take your setup, lead foot comes in. You'll notice that the ball's quite a bit in front, but we'll get there hopefully. This is not easy, so let's see where this goes. We're going to hover the club in front, swing back, step forward and hit. So here we go. Do well to make contact there, because that's not an easy drill, but a wonderful one for sequencing. Anyway, I hope that helped there. Just some ideas of how you can improve transition, what some of the best golfers in the world do, and hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you again for watching, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Don't penalize me.
Is that this wrist is going to start flexing this way, and the right wrist is going to start bending. Okay, now you're going to do that as much as you possibly can as the toe is closing before you hit the golf ball. And if you do that, now the face is over there.
Yeah.
Now you have to pivot the hips to get there.
Okay.
See that?
Jesus.
So it's down this way.
Yeah. And then pivot the hips open there, and see how it gets there anyway.
Yeah.
So like your worry about over here is taken care of if you do it back here.
Okay.
Otherwise, golf's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a good lesson. We're done. That's what you need to do. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Whoa, shit.
So that was already better. See, it was still drawing. It was a little higher.
Yeah.
That was lower than the last shot, and it started more on line.
Okay.
So kind of your indicator, and this kind of goes back to like other conversations.
Yeah.
So you have a grid down. Okay.
I hate putts like this.
And there's so much like hyper focus on mechanics and not so much on intent.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go, okay, I have this target here, and this is my line right there. Can I see your club?
Yeah.
I know when this comes down, if this face is open, I'm either going to stall everything out and figure out a way to shut this. So some players will either back up to give themselves time to do it. Some players get here and they close the face this way, which would be really bad.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of that going on.
That par
for
3
instance,
mattered.
Stan's gonna want you to go this way, hit it really high, and then you don't get the top of the ball. So you have to actually get the spin loft down. You got to get this thing turning down. Okay. Some players already do it at the top, but you're going to actively feel this thing turn down so you can keep the right wrist bent. Now I know the face is closed. My brain wants to rotate and lean the shaft. Okay. And the more I do that, it gets the ball starting on that green line instead of out to the right.
Okay. I guess just a follow-up question there. When it's up here, and then I'm on my left side now.
Yep.
And then I'm basically doing this.
Yep.
Am I leaving it here and then just turning?
Yes.
Or doing this and then I'm like using my hands to kind of get there as well? Or
no, just leave it there. Yeah, the hands will do what they do because you look, that impact interval is kind of like you've educated your hands ahead of time what that should do. But you're not actively trying to do that through the golf ball.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're taking away something from here.
Okay.
So do it all early. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but I can't think about that.
I see. Okay, let me try.
Good. Better.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
And keep trying to hedge more of this to get the ball to start straighter over the green. That was still a little too much push. They're drawing, it's just starting too far right.
Gotcha. But then, so then that would mean like, when I'm turning this, it's, right now I'm like going this and rotating, but
Correct.
Is it this and then?
No, it's the same input.
It's just this?
Just more. Yeah, you want to kind of, so to answer your question, you just added something to the input. So the input was get this thing shut down so I can turn. Because it didn't do it enough, didn't mean you did that you need to add more to the whole equation. It just means you need to do this more, coming down.
Like this.
Just get that twisted down that way. Okay. Good. Excellent. Keep doing it. That should be the objective. That started pretty straight and hooked a lot.
Yeah.
Bingo. Okay, so that was proper, right? Started pretty straight.
God.
It was half the height.
Is
It
that
was
the ball
compressed
gonna
and
break?
drew like 5 yards.
Yeah.
That's ideal. So
Okay.
keep that
It
input
can't
going.
be. You say I put like 0.9, motherfucker straight.
Good.
That's what drives me fucking.
It's crazy how
nuts.
much better that
Straight
was.
is
Keep
straight.
going. Do that again.
In reality.
Yeah. More of the
Straight is
same.
fucking straight.
So try to double that input.
Oh man. She's so high.
Traces are there, still a little bit there. Keep that way.
It's just like,
If you hit this thing left, hard, low hook, you know you did it.
gotcha.
So overdo it.
I guess the way I think about that though is like, just
No,
going
no,
like
no,
this.
no, 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 no. You're just doing it back here.
Yeah.
It's birdie here,
Yep.
so
So is this not moving at all? I guess, is this being so passive that it's not even like, it's down here and then I'm like,
Correct.
I'm
Yeah.
not even moving.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not like,
Yeah. Okay. Ball doesn't know. Once the ball's gone, ball doesn't know whether or not you did this or whether you did that. Doesn't matter. Okay. Keep it simple.
yeah. I guess I feel like when I'm doing this so much, it just goes like way
No.
down. But
The wind
No.
only work. Only
Means you didn't
only
get forward and
hammers
rotate.
you when you fucking.
Okay.
Yeah. You just kind of
Don't
hung
need
back
it to.
on it.
and I'm just like, okay, got it.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. Just do that again. That input. Okay. So come down.
Come down here.
There. Good. Now weight's left. Now pivot. See how the handle's ahead?
Yeah.
Come on, ball, pick up speed.
So you won't chunk it. If you chunk it, you're going back. Should be boom right there. And I'll give you a drill for that. Don't worry. What did that do?
Hooked it left.
Great. Okay, so let's look at this.
Okay.
So we'll do a little before and after. So this is kind of an important picture.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of your concern is based around impact. Mine's more concerned at P6 before impact. That's your
Yeah.
release point.
Yeah.
Okay, so your release point is essentially when the club is parallel to the ground.
Yeah.
Where that butt into the club is important. So normally, like I said, your butt into the club was way over here.
Yep.
Okay, I'm exaggerating, we're over there, but
Yep.
visually tell it's away from the ball.
Yep.
So for me to get the club to the ball, I have to do something with my body. So I'm not going to go like this to do it.
Yeah.
So
Right?
you drive
I
it
can
and
pull
get
the
an
handle
eagle
forward, but that's not pivoting.
Yeah.
Right? So, but now because your right wrist is bent and you're rotating better, and this is getting more there, my handle gets forward. And the only reason that's happening is your left wrist isn't extended.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually heading this way. It's torquing in this direction.
Yeah.
Okay, and you need that. So if I get this to happen, I can get this pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you look at this, previous conversation, you would come down to release point and then look where the butt on the club was.
Yeah.
Behind your right
Give
thigh.
me a putt. Come on.
Now,
All right, got a putt at it. Got a putt. Just in the mirror for the make.
starting to get up to your right thigh and you're more forward. See that? So now there's no light.
Yeah.
It's kind of on your right thigh now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as that's occurring, you look at the old one, you'd come in and your left wrist would extend. Now here, your shaft looks more forward. Whoops, I keep doing that. See how now your handle's ahead when you're hitting it. See the wrist doesn't flip?
Yeah.
And then here it kind of, the handle slows down, club passes. See the space?
Yeah.
That's all a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can do that more. So like the players that do that the most would be like Boo Weekley. So Boo Weekley's a very good iron player.
Yeah.
Boo Weekley's like that. Now what's funny is like in the golf
Way to
instruction
get it there,
world,
buddy.
you never take Boo Weekley. Sorry, Boo. You never take Boo Weekley and go, oh, well, that's your golf swing. But the reality is he's one of the best iron players that ever played.
Yeah.
Like he's really good, but he's like that when he hits it.
Yeah.
He's not doing that. Okay, so, but that precursor's back here. So he knows, because he's educated his hands on how that works so that his pivot can work. Because a lot of guys get into the theory that your pivot has to be doing the right thing,
Yeah.
but your pivot can't do the right thing if you don't have face awareness.
Yeah.
It's like you got to match those two things up.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to do it more, and I don't know where that feeling working at, because for me, I'm just like as
Yeah,
easily
exactly.
possible. But
Well, okay, so let's think about it. So go to the top of your swing.
yeah.
I'm going to give you an undefinable answer here, so that's not the top. Go to the top.
Sure,
So there's a lot of players on tour that are up here like this with an extended left wrist. In fact, 95% of them are here.
Yeah.
Okay? The rest of them are level to bowed.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you're level to extended, whatever. Now, if you came down to here,
Yeah.
that wrist, because it lags, is that extended?
Yes.
Cupped? 100%.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a lot of lag, you're going to have more extension in your wrist.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Now, if the club's flatter, like back behind you, it's going to be less.
Yep.
But none of that matters. Okay?
Okay.
That's just jargon.
Yes.
All that matters is from here that this thing starts to shut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? As much as you possibly can. So see where the club's behind you?
Yeah.
And your right wrist is bent, left wrist is bowed.
Yes.
So now the only way for you to keep this and keep this is to pivot your body. Now you got shaft length.
Okay.
See that? So look at Hogan. So Hogan, let me see your club.
Yep.
So Hogan was like this, okay, at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he was like this, and then he went like that. He even had a whole chapter on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he had flexion and supination to hit the golf ball.
Got it.
Now
So-
he's doing that here, not here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
From here, he's doing all that so he can get here. Because this should be an afterthought.
I see. But are you not supinating them, like, or so is it just this and this, or this
it's
and there?
Right? Now, if I pivot, that face is shut. Where's that ball going? Over there.
Yeah.
Now pivot, keep the face square.
Mm. So you're not supinating this through the ball, or like
Through the ball will do it. You just you don't think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, this club's going too fast.
Got it.
In fact, the hands are actually slowing down at some point. It's gonna line up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see.
Keep the input
I
on
mean,
there.
that's the way to get it close.
There.
To try to have a
There.
chance for fucking it to go in. not.
as much as you can. So, yep, and now pivot. There. Now the handle's ahead. There you go.
Okay.
Keep it very linear, very simple.
I'm just gonna go like 5% speed.
Yeah, that'd be great. And exaggerate. Awesome. Now see how the wrist angles stayed this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want.
It doesn't seem like it now, but there in that moment changed the entire trajectory of my golf swing. Dana knew it, Ben Hogan knew it, and I would soon know how this lesson is one of the biggest turning points to my progression as a golfer. Not only that, but this lesson is just ramping up. So stay until the end, because what we talk about with the 3-wood and driver is a complete game changer. But the absolute #1 thing that is a game changer is going down below and subscribing and liking this video. Each one of you who do allows me to bring all the greatest golf coaches in the world on this channel to provide tips for all of you. So please subscribe and like. And if this video gets enough likes, I'll fly to a different state and drop a video with one of the greatest short game coaches of all time. Or did this already happen and now I'm just waiting for enough likes on this video? Time will tell. But until that, let's get back to the show.
So like it goes back to, I said this before, like you go to the driving range, you want to be a good golfer.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're gonna hit a bunch of drivers 3-woods and you're gonna hit a bunch of wedges, not 7-irons. So good players don't stand there and hit 7-irons.
Yeah.
They hit some longer stuff, a little bit, and then they just wear out 150 to 100 yards. Now for 150, that's probably a wedge or 9-iron, and they flight them. Like they don't stand there and hit 7-iron, 6-iron, 5-iron, because you never hit them.
Yeah.
Like a par 3 you do once in a while, and maybe a longer par 4. But the most bang for your buck is controlling your start line and your curve and your trajectory hitting a wedge. So guys just don't want to do that. It's like, okay, but that's why you suck at golf.
Yeah.
It's like, because you can't control anything.
Yeah.
Just hitting 7-irons all day long. And like, yeah, I hit a full blasted 7-iron, it goes straight up in the air. That's not doing me anything.
Yeah.
It's also not fixing what I need to do on my golf swing.
Yeah.
Right? So do it again. Sick. Now, wait a minute. That ball went low and hooked. That's a good thing.
I'm trying to keep doing it.
Yes, please.
Man, why would you do
Yeah,
this?
I'm just gonna keep asking this. So at the top here,
Yeah.
landed left. It's starting to happen now. Or like, okay.
Early as you
Dude,
can.
You got all that fucking place to the right.
Money.
Why would you fucking do
Okay,
this?
that's beautiful. So look at the difference here.
Oh my god,
So
my
in
golf
this
game
way,
is so
like,
bad.
I so had to
sometimes.
focus on this wrist or educating hands. Is that
For now.
like that? Okay.
Fucking
For now.
hit.
Yeah, if you don't like put focus around that and you drift to other things, you never
You were fucking
fix it.
dumb. You're the dumbest fucking golfer
So like you
ever. Just fucking
hear
dumb.
Bryson say things like,
Just ain't fucking
I don't know if
over
you've ever heard
there.
him say this, he may or may
Why
not have
would
said
you
this
do
online
that?
or not, but he does things called inputs. So he tries to put an input into his move. Now, to him, he's really, really good at golf. So when he tries to do something, he actually does it.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm actually going to do that.
Yeah.
And then if it works,
You are a
great. If it
fucking
doesn't work, it
bonehead.
works.
That's
He goes
what
to
the
next
fuck
thing.
you are.
Yeah, okay. He's an outlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Most guys go, I'm going to give it an input.
Keep stamping.
They don't even change
That's
it.
just dumb.
It's like they think they did it. They didn't do it. The ball's kind of telling you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I hit a low ball that hooked and the handle was forward, which is what you did here. So look at the difference here at the part that makes the most sense to look at, which is your release pointer P6. Right here.
This is before.
Before, and then whoops, and then after. You actually get those lines correct. There you go. Now, you hit 10 balls. You finally got the butt of the club to mid quad, right quad. So that's telling me that the pivot is rotating, right? Because that's what I said. You can't get the butt end of the club forward out here if the body's not rotating. I'm not going to pull the handle ahead of the ball. Right? I'm not going to go like this and pull the hands down.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some rotation to it, okay? And then from here, because your left wrist is bowed more, the right wrist is bent more, look, your handle's way ahead of the golf ball now.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at those lines in comparison, that's where your shaft's at. So that gets your spin loft See the difference?
Yeah.
So that's why that ball had it compressed.
That fucking
Look at after the
push.
ball.
I'm in the goddamn. I'm in the dead center of the fucking room, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Okay. And you don't need to worry about that.
Ah,
You're really hyper focused
dead
on
fucking
impact
center.
past the ball, but you need the precursor to do that. This is just I'm self-aware of what happens after I hit the golf ball. But look how your hips are opening.
Gotcha. Okay, got it.
Because now you can't. Because if it was open, you can't do that. Okay.
And so to even double down on that again,
No, let's push it to behind a rock.
I'm up here, and then I'm turning this, but I'm not pulling it.
No.
I'm just turning it, and then I'm kind of just rotating.
Yeah. So like there is a deceleration. Like so if this is for like the golf geeks out there.
Yeah.
This is how I cover my butt. Okay. So because they're going, oh, Dana said this or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. There is a deceleration that goes on of your segments. So you have hips, rib cage, lead arm, left wrist. That's just kind of industry standard. So what happens is the player is rotating the lower body, the upper body is separated from that. That's a stretch cycle. And then the hips keep firing, but then they start to slow everything down. The left arm goes faster. Okay, it starts to speed up. And then the left wrist accelerates, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Each segment decelerates to speed up the next segment.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you don't just go up there and just turn to oblivion.
Yes.
Like, we're not saying that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean don't turn. Like, there's the two factions are go to the top, don't turn. It's like, well, there is rotation happening.
Yeah.
Some players need to feel it, some don't.
Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
But this needs to correspond, so it allows you to do it. Okay, that's your full input there.
Gotcha.
Okay, so show me. Yep.
Oh, and
Much as you can.
And it's not like this.
No.
It's
That way. Keep going. More. Yep.
more like
As much as you can. Yep. Until you're hitting the lowest balls, you're like, Dan, I need to launch the ball. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Awesome. That was cool.
Yeah.
Do that more and then turn your hips more. So
Okay.
it doesn't go left.
And the sequencing, you said like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it so?
That's not why I said that.
Oh.
I said that for the armchair guys at home. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Didn't mean for you to think about that like that. Okay.
Bury this one. My forte.
Good. Pressure needs to get left.
Yeah. I feel like for that one, I don't know why, there's like a certain feeling that I have. Like that one I knew was going to be bad because of somehow on the top of the backswing.
No. It's because your pressure wasn't left. Your pressure needs to go. So remember, it's pressure goes left, then you're able to do that. So if you're back on your right foot and you're thinking about your arms and your hands, look at where I'm at. It ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So your brain goes, what's the path of least resistance? Throw the face at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. So it's pressure left and then wrists. Yep.
Oh, okay. Let me try.
Bingo.
And just keep
Bingo.
more.
Yeah, so the simplification is just this. Take it back, pressure goes left first, wrist angles. That's it. Like, just keep it that redundant. What's funny is, like, you actually were doing this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it was like about a month ago. Like, there was a lot of rain, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I got you actually to do, like, a lot of these.
Yeah.
Remember that? Where pressure would land left first, and then it kind of did a lot of that, and you started getting the shaft to get forward.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like, that went away. But because you understand your pattern, hopefully, it's like, oh, okay, I do this.
Yeah.
Right? But you cannot lose, like, how your hands are educated to bring the club face through.
Yeah. When we did that, I think I could get forward. I could get like a shaft lane like this, but it was like still wide open. Like it was like this. If I think about my lower body, I could get to that position, but then
But then
like
the face is open, then you stop doing it.
yeah. And so like trying to think about both right now is kind of hard, but
Well, priority on the face.
okay.
Awesome. Bingo.
And then you said just keep firing this to get it square. I see. It's like when I feel this,
you're
I don't know what it is.
overthinking it.
It's like I get to a position here where I don't feel like it's like in a solid state to like do this. I don't know how to explain it, but
Overthinking it a little bit. So just take your backswing. Keep looking down. Good. So that's fine. Okay, now torque the shaft coming down. Torque the face. There you go. You're fine. See? You're fine. Just hook balls.
yeah.
Do that one more time. I already got the picture, so I don't even need to film it.
Okay.
You just keep doing that. Money. See that? That's a hard hook. 2 in a row. Okay? Now you need 10 of those, like when you're by yourself, 10 of those, and then pull the hook out with your pivot. That's kind of how I want you to do that. Okay, do one more. Good. Everything was good but the pressure.
Yeah.
Last one.
Just like land there.
These are all good, bud. Like, I have no problem with these. You're not hitting block white cuts that go straight up in the air. These are good. You need to, like, get away a little bit from, like, in my opinion, get away from, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
When you go home, these wedges right here,
Yeah.
you wear it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just stand there and hit low hook wedges and get, and
Right, golfers, let's show you how this real golfer, with the help of the guys at JD Golf Academy, using their measured gears system, went from this kind of impact where they've got their hands back here compared to one where they're in a much more functional position with their hands opposite trail fire as they come in to hit the ball, which allowed them to hit better strikes, better height shots, which in turn went further. It happened with all clubs when they tested. What it allowed them to do, this player started to control low point, where before they were rubbish at controlling low point, guffing, fatting, finning, those kind of things. This is a real lesson. Let's check out these changes, what they did and how they did help it. So the first thing we see, this is so common with so many golfers. Now, if you're seeing resulting kind of impacts here, often what people try to do is they try to fix this part. But this golfer was never going to fix that part, as we can see from the video here, because of the sequence of the backswing to the downswing. So what they were doing is they were making quite a tucked in, close to a backswing to then have this huge bounce back, this kind of big shape on the way back down, where they created more width on the way down, which then creates the arms to kind of go far too far back here, which encourages kind of these impacts that we saw, you know, they're kind of out here as they get into last parallel. That's not going to help a golfer's low point, not going to help them get the right trajectory, distance, certainly not going to help with strike. So such a common problem where golfers create no width and then create width. So how could you go about trying to create more width on the way back to allow you then to be able to be pulling those hands almost closer to you to get into this functional downswing? Now, the easiest way for lots of golfers is to start thinking about trail arm. So if you just take hold of your club with your trail hand only, what I want you to do is go top of your backswing and stop, and you're going to try and get the remainder part of the shaft here, the spear out behind you. What you're going to notice as you do that is the trail arm wants to stay much more semi-bent rather than crazy bent in here, because you start feeling that it's coming more maybe from trail wrist going this way a bit more, and the more trail wrist starts to go basically this way, the less this elbow has to do the work of getting that club up to the top of what feels like a backswing. The less we get into this crunch position, the less chance we've got on those huge bounce backs that we see. Next thing you can do is add a little bit of speed to this backswing. So with one hand on, trying to get this butt under this club to spear behind you. If you add a little bit of speed to this, what happens is you start opening up trail shoulder. You start actually opening up your arm to go more this way, which is good for width. It creates some space for you to actually get the club down into, rather than when golfers go very slow and deliberate, which is often the case, they feel like they need to slow down, they can kind of just put the club into position, and then they try to create that space and that width and that speed on the way down. So by getting that club to spear back with a bit of speed to feel like you're really kind of whipping it back, what's going to happen is you're really going to start opening up trail shoulder. You're going to get some extension in your trail arm, so it's going to bend. It's just not going to bend crazy amounts. It's not just basically going to fall onto you to have the big kickback. And the beauty of creating this angle in your trail wrist and your trail arm is it naturally starts getting you away from yourself in that backswing. Gets you creating that space that you need to be able to get the club into these paths that you're trying to get to on the way down. So often I see golfers trying to fix the way down. They're not going to do it from the positions they get into on the way back, which this lesson from JD Golf Academy clearly shows, all measured with gears. There's no guessing. This is just the facts of how they change someone and how it can work for you as well. Now, if you're not so good at thinking about trail arm, you can try lead arm. So one hand on, just lead hand on, and what I want you to do is really try and feel like you push this up and away, as far away from you as possible on that backswing. So really try and get some space between where your hands start to where they end. Now, I don't want you to get space by trying to go this way. I want you to get space up into here, up into this part.
How does that not go in?
So lead shoulder goes.
How does that not go in?
Your hands this side.
Golly, bro. It feels like on my game that the right and the left, there's no right or left side on my game.
So many of you want.
I mean, if I don't hit it dead center, it ain't gonna fucking go in.
This way.
Never.
Interesting with this lesson as well, which I love.
I don't get them to fall in. It's always like this bullshit. Always.
Stretch and downswing, kind of pull in if you want.
I mean, goddamn, I play with y'all. Everybody that plays with me. I watch this shit come in from everywhere.
Better rotations
Motherfucker,
on the way
don't do
through.
it mine.
You don't even have to think about rotating.
Dead center, you know, and right speed. Fucking loop it off right speed, you jump the fucking hole.
And that club just naturally go from there, which is often going to be closer. This player actually got their body more engaged in the downswing, actually starting to open up more on the down. Bounce backs when people keep it close, and then they bounce back.
I mean, goddamn, I can't fucking make it.
Was too early, and then they have to stop and stall to hit the ball, which is why we start seeing these kind of actions on the way through. The stretch on the way back.
I mean, I was supposed to hit it 3.2. I hit it 3.4, which is faster. And then the motherfucker just
for longer shots, while at the same time it helped them trying to get their body to actually engage in a way to encourage these kind of impacts rather than these. And the dominoes just fell over, and it happened. That's the beauty of measured good coaching. Remember, what you see as impact is often a result of what happened before. Don't get too bogged down with trying to fix this. If there's problems happening before, you'll never
just fucking
fix
just fucks with
that.
my
Now, you
head.
want to find out how to apply better movements with your driver for extra distance. This video is going to help you a lot.
I mean, I never. Don't hit it dead center. It ain't going in. Fucking forget it.
My top
fucking
three
golf ain't like
not
that.
hit the ball as far as
You do get the right left sometimes.
I mean, so short. If you're looking play better golf, hit the ball further and straighter for lots of people, we need to get you maximising what you're putting down there. Don't try to
pisses
too much up here.
damn.
Let's show you what I mean. So maximising what you get out of what you put in is really what we're talking about here. For lots of people, when I say I want to get you hitting the ball further, they think purely of swinging only out of their boots, and then that leads in their heads of being out of control, being less accurate with your driver. What I'm talking about here is going to make you more consistent with your driver, more accurate with your driver, and max out what you put in. If you aren't near to maxing out what you're putting in...
Dude, the speed was 9.2 and I hit 9.3!
Remember, if you like the messages in these videos, hit that like button down below. You can subscribe to the channel. I have a free weekly newsletter link down below as well if you want to subscribe to more free golf tips. As well as when you're down there, look at all the affiliates.
Jeez, I mean, what the fuck?
If you want to support the channel, use those links, you'll get the best price. So, let's talk about one. The first reason people do not maximise out what they put in. Let's see if I can explain that in this shot. We've got shot number one, which we'll talk about, and here's shot number two, doing a very common fault. We'll see if I pulled it off. So I've missed target, which is expected.
Oh, man,
Let's just look at the numbers.
I can really own
So
it.
162 ball speed to 156 on the second shot. Now, the first point
That's
we're going to talk about here is loft. 14 degrees loft, and this is X loft. And when I look at my quad here, it's actually telling me it's up near 20 degrees of loft. So I've gone from around 15 degrees of loft on the first one delivered to 20 degrees of loft on the second one. By adding loft as I hit the ball, that's simply going to increase deflection, for like a wedge shot, which will reduce ball speed. And often, if not controlled can increase curvature. So that last shot carried 233 with 108 mile an hour club head speed. 108 mile an hour club head speed with the more realistic loft should be delivering more. So that's 105 club head speed, so slower, and that's carried 256 yards. Think about that. I've actually swung slower, but because my delivery was more efficient, just simply on the loft number there is one of the points, that ball gone further. I'm maxing out what I put in. Lots of golfers will simply go faster and faster because they want to hit it further, but if you're not controlling the loft, you could actually find bigger gains by doing it at the speed you're doing it at, maxing it out. So how do you control loft? This is such a common problem with drivers. So the first thing people go to is the driver and the neck and the loft on the head. They think that's going to make the difference. Unfortunately, and this is where one of the biggest golf kind of, you fill in the blank word there, starts with a C, in custom fitting can really work on the custom fitter's benefit. So let's say I've got a 10-degree loft driver and they give me a 7-degree loft driver, and that reduces my loft and it goes further. What happens is that player goes, oh, I had the wrong loft, great, I'm now hitting it further. But from my experience of then teaching those people over time who've gone for fittings, they come for things, and they just default back to the loft that they originally wanted to deliver because that's where they want to be. They don't change the fundamental issue of presenting loft, they change this, and then in time, that 3 degrees, they just override it. I changed the loft there by over 5 degrees, which hardly any loft changes. If anyone's going for a custom fit and their loft being changed 5 degrees, I would be shocked. So why do golfers have this kind of tendency to want to increase so much loft with their driver? Bearing in mind I've got an 8.5 degree driver here, 5 minutes slightly lower on the neck. I present the 15, so you do add loft, just amateurs are adding a lot of loft. And it's to do with controlling this angle, the face ran away. The more that face turns up to the sky, the more at the top of the backswing the face points down to the ground, the more chances they come down into the ball. They won't have control of their face pointing up to the sky, and then to hit the ball they've got to really flip it forwards to get the face somehow pointing to where they want the ball to start. And there's the load of loft, where with the stronger players in the world, they're generally turning that face more down to the ground, which allows them to present better loft angles with another angle, which we're going to come to in point 2. So, get control of loft. Number 1 point for getting control of loft, you've got to check your grip. Is your grip turned over enough? Are you too weak, which in turn will present loft? Point number 1, let's check your grip. Point number 2, are you sneaking the ball position miles forward to try and encourage you to actually get the face squaring up in time because you're not controlling the loft? Let's make sure the ball position with your driver is somewhere between the middle of your lead foot to say 2 inches inside your lead foot, and try somewhere you push it back to inside your lead foot and see what happens to your loft presentation, because if it comes out lower and you maximise the mid ball, that's a good thing. And number 3, have your awareness of the club face, so as it moves around your body, can you feel that face turning to the ground? Simple little drill. You've got your grip and your setup in place. This is funny, people don't like this drill because it's like hard to do, but you want to give it a practice. Just simply take the club to around first parallel, turn that club down to the ground if you can.
I mean,
2 cranks,
why would it break?
Chip a few balls down in front of you, and you want that.
I mean, don't fucking play it, it'll fucking break. Play it and it don't break.
Not an off.
Do whatever you want to fucking do, gang.
Swing out on that small swing, and the ball kind of dip out of the air. It's going left because the loft often makes that face point a little bit left of the park.
Show it's going back. Normally, when you first hit it, there's nothing happens with the break.
Pitch you out with your driver, trying to get that ball to kind of dip low out of the air to get used to actually presenting a different loft and start maximising rather than just leaking power left, right, and centre. Point number 2. Second swing, where I swung and it didn't go very far and I presented loads of loft. Also, hit down. Yeah, that's crazy. This one blows people's heads off. So basically, the one where I didn't max out my distance,
just go get behind the tree.
Down.
Get right behind it. There you fucking go. That's what I'm talking about with this game. Fucking bullshit. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Deflection.
I ain't never seen a fucking shit that ever. I mean, dude, you get a tree close by and it's gonna find to get behind it.
30 miles an hour, I drive straight
yeah,
at
right.
You. It's not going to be very nice. But if I drive at 30 miles an hour at you and I come at you from an extreme angle, it's not going to be nice. But there's more chance I'm going to brush off that ball. I'm kind of going to glide off it.
Just put it behind the fucking tree, because he hit it right.
Driving straight.
Put him behind the tree because he hit it left. I mean, y'all can't tell me this shit on this game. Don't do it.
Going up on that
all the fucking time.
Max out while delivering better loft. Most
Heart path hit it.
Hitting down, presenting loft.
Jesus, I mean, he just put dead fucking gut center it. I mean,
I swung quite hard, it didn't go anywhere. The one where I hit it quite average, like I was slower with my club head speed, but I went up at the ball with loft, or less. Really went out there, I would have carried, 10, 15 yards further, and I swung it slower. So, how can we get you feeling like you're trying to hit up at the ball? Point number one for that, where you can try, forget lag. So many golfers talk about lag and holding on to this angle. Hold it on, hold it on, hold it on, hold it on. Guess what this does? Keeps the club up in the air, hands go low, there's going to be a crash. It's going to be the club as it moves down. It's going to violently get down to the ball. We want that gone. You need to be trying to get that club down to the ground earlier so you can actually come up at that ball and stripe it away. And I know this one blows people's heads off. This angle is so confusing for so many golfers, but you need to feel at the top of your backswing like you're actually starting to take this angle out. Don't hold on to it forever. So what the world's best players do is they
get right behind the motherfucking thing.
And they're very quick to start taking it out. So from about here, they start taking this angle out to get ready to deliver that club. And for most amateurs, when I ask them to take angles away, they think, well, that's going to be worse, I'm going to be weaker. Two things happen. One, they tend to drop the club more on this path rather than going this way, because people who hold on to the angle and turn tend to come out this way with the club stuffed up in the air. So A, their path gets better as they throw those angles away, which can help for more maxing out distance. And two, they get the club down a little earlier, which allows them then to hit level or up at that ball. And there is
just the routine
distance.
part.
Hitting loads of speed, adding loft, hitting down is going to be so weak compared to you trying to hit up while presenting a more reasonable loft to max out your distance. Point number three, and this one is game changing for so many golfers. You have to change your intent. The amount of golfers that say to me they need to slow down, they need to slow it down and then they'll play better. You don't. You need to change your intent. If you want to max out what you're putting in, trying to put a bit more in with those better angles now. We've got better loft. We're hitting up at the ball, not down. Now we need some intent with this driver. The amount of golfers I see who make these kind of pretty actions with the driver and the ball just falls out in the air because they have enough speed to keep it going up. It's ridiculous how many. We need some good intent, some commitment to speed, some commitment to try to send that ball a bit further with your maxed out angles, and then in turn you trying to push your body that bit further. Now, the best way to change your intent is get in a safe space, a range, a net, a sim, wherever your safe space is where shots can be devalued. We want them devalued down to zero. Meaning if you top it, you slice it, you hook it, it doesn't matter. The object in your safe area is actually to start overtraining speed. So I want you to start doing a few swings where you turn your body as far as you feel you can turn it. I want you to feel like you're pulling on that club as fast as you can and hitting shots, not how you will play, but with full intent. And I want you to see what the difference is between your top intent shots compared to the shots that you play on the course. So if you have access to any launch monitor, top chase or whatever, you can measure the difference. If you're at a range, you're going to be able to hopefully see the difference between your gaming shots, so one where you're trying to get the angles right and you're just trying to hit a kind of intended target, compared to the ones where you max out. You turn as far as you can. You swing literally out of your boots as hard as you can. Now, what I tend to find with amateurs, this is a generalization, you're all different, but so I've overspeed trained for a long time. So the difference between my top end to my gaming end is around 2 miles an hour. They're really close because I'm now gaming much nearer my top end, because what happens is the more you practice at your top end, the more you start realizing you're not less accurate. And the more you start realizing you've got so much more to give. Now, when I do this with everyday amateurs, what we find is 7, 8 mile an hour difference. Huge difference between their top swings down to their gaming swings, where they're obviously a bit petrified and swinging in a way where it's so deliberate that they can't put any speed in. which often leads to poor
That's what I'm
strike, less
saying.
control, weaker
I mean,
shots.
I pull
So
it
we
out
want
when
to
it
get
shows
that
break and it
discrepancy
don't
between
break.
top end
I'm
down
like,
to
okay,
game end a
it
little
would not
closer.
break
I
while
like
ago.
to see it
Good
around
movement,
5
it don't
to 2
break.
mile an
Don't
hour.
pull it out as
So
much as you do.
upping
You're not
that
gonna do it.
speed of
Then
your
fucking
top
do
end,
it. Then the
practicing
goddamn
hitting shots out of your
motherfucker
boot
fucking
in your fence
snaps.
zone and watching the results. What tends to happen with golfers is they start to
There's
see
no rhyme or
is they've got
reason.
so much more to give,
None.
and their relationship to speed doesn't relate to accuracy like this. And I know some of you are watching this now, I don't think that. As I go faster, I go more wayward. Please, just try it. I haven't had a student yet who goes top end down to game end and has become way more less accurate. They literally come to me and they message me after.
Damn, bro.
I still can't believe
Makes
me
no
trying to
fucking
swing with this
sense.
intent.
Zero. No sense.
Hit the ball as straight as I've always hit it. For some people, they can even start.
I mean, it's like anything. I mean,
Don't be afraid to push it. Really turn. Really go. That one's going. That one's going to turn way left.
What do I do?
Go far left. That's going. But I'm upping my swing speeds. I'm upping my ability to put stress on my body, which allows me to, when I come to hit my gaming shot, to put that little bit more stress on my body and be ready for the outcome, which for most golfers is longer. Hitting the ball longer and straight is going to lower your scores. Getting the most out of what you put in is the main point. A little bit of intent in there as well. You can transform how you hit shots. Now, if you want to transform how you hit your iron shots, this video is going to do the same as this one, but give you that consistent iron shot that you're looking for. Let's get you hitting some straighter drives. Let's get you hitting your driver like never before. Simple drill. It's going to help you understand that maybe certain parts of your body will control the path of this club. It will control if on camera you see these kind of actions, or down at the ball you start seeing these kind of flicky forward crumbled actions with your arms. Often they're the result. They're the resulting, the receipt of what's gone before. Now what I'm going to show you today is going to help you control impact, control path, hopefully get you hitting some straight drives. And if you like the information in today's video, hit that like button down below. Any of the products down in my affiliate links down there, use those links for the best prices. Also, I have a free weekly newsletter where I do golf tips every week for exclusive free members. It's all free. Come and join, link down below. So for all this drill, we're going to use a second ball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up to my original ball.
Damn, I just fucking busted a fucking pitching wedge,
and I'm going
man.
to see
Motherfucking hit it
where
solid,
my
the roll
shoulders
fucking
turn.
out.
What I mean
And
by
you say
that,
the
as I
motherfucker
turn
goes
my
14
body
fucking
back
yards.
here,
Fuck
I can see
you.
my shoulders
Not even
over the
fucking
top of
close.
my eye line here, kind of a turning.
If I hit
along
that
this
fucking
line.
shot
Now,
on the golf
line
course,
is
I go over a
with the
fucking whole
toes of
green.
my feet. So what I'm going to do is put a ball just basically here in front, the toes of my feet, and this ball here is going to be my reference point for me trying to get my shoulders to help me control the path.
What's gonna happen here? Is the fucking thing gonna break? Not gonna break? What you gonna do this time?
Tilts and turns that my shoulders are taking as they move around have a huge influence on where this club and the path it wants to travel on. And this is why I said that often these actions are the receipts. They're what comes out after you've done the shopping. So meaning they show you what's happened before, what you put in your basket. Meaning if I put a shallow kind of flat shoulder turn standing up on the way back, well then there's a good chance I'm then going to try and get my shoulders to tilt down and get back to that ball. I can't hit it up here. So then we see this starting to come out, and the receipt, the impact position, is a mess. It's what's gone before is often the result of what you see. And if we can get these shoulders tilting in a much more positive way, which this ball on the ground is going to allow us to do both ways, so back and down and through, we're now going to